Once relics, now razor sharp. Ukraine's Soviet time machines just got a digital upgrade. And while Ukrainian Marines innovate on the Dnieper front, China plays both sides of the war, talking peace in Europe while quietly fueling Russia's war machine. Let's break it all down and put you in focus on these hot events. How did a Soviet-era vehicle become a high-tech weapon of modern war? Ukrainian Marines are now using upgraded BMP-1TS infantry fighting vehicles with state-of-the-art digital systems to strike Russian forces across the Dnieper River. With night vision cameras, thermal imaging, smart targeting, and joystick controls, these once obsolete machines are now precision tools on the battlefield. See how Ukrainian innovation is rewriting the rules of the 21st century warfare in our report.
Under the cover of night, Ukrainian Marines strike the enemy on the left bank of the Dnieper River. Aerial reconnaissance captures the results. All targets were hit. Precise strikes are delivered by the BMP-1TS, a modernized infantry fighting vehicle. These BMPs are in service with the Ukrainian Naval Forces, specifically the 1st Battalion of the 40th Separate Coastal Defense Brigade. The BMP-1, a Soviet-era vehicle, was rarely used before 2014. Fighters say the modernized version performs exceptionally well.
Hits at 1,600 to 2,000 meters, right on target. What's the maximum range? Up to 4 kilometers, no problem for it.
The vehicle's combat effectiveness, mobility, and crew protection have been enhanced.
It's maneuverable. A speed of 80 kilometers per hour for such a machine is pretty good. When you're moving from positions, it's great that it's like this. Was it hard to learn? I wouldn't say it was hard. I've been a tractor driver my whole life. For me, it's just a tractor with a cannon.
The fighter with the call sign Tractorist from Cherkasy region joined the fight after his son was discharged from the army due to injury. Over the past year, he has served in Sumy, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and now Kherson regions.
What can you do when this is happening in our country? These bastards are coming at us. What else is there to do?
The fighters approach the very edge of the riverbank to strike the enemy hiding on the islands with precision. They work primarily at night, quickly, moving out, entering target data, firing, all in under a minute.
Their situation with night drones is worse. Both strike wings and FPVs. It's easier to slip through a window at night, when no one's watching, so we can do our job. We work at night to spot the enemy on the islands because, with today's level of camouflage, it's very hard to find them during the day. So, we use thermal drones at night to detect heat signatures. It's much easier. About 70% of the Russians we find and hit are at night.
An improved fire control system and integrated digital technologies have fully adapted the BMP to modern combat conditions.
It's a more modern design with electronic controls, night vision cameras, and high-quality long-range cameras. You can see the enemy from a great distance, aim, and engage. You can even spot a head popping out of a trench for a smoke.
The Spies Combat Module, a Ukrainian development, features an integrated calculator that automatically determines the target's distance. The module's stabilization ensures precise firing from a stationary position, on the move, or while crossing water obstacles. The system is also user-friendly.
You control it with just 2 fingers. Everything's on buttons, displayed on a screen. The gun's rotation is handled with a joystick, literally with 2 fingers. So to say, there's a special joystick for control and rotation.
The BMP-1TS has become a key tool for defense on the southern front, reported by Daria Litovchenko, UATV News.
China says it wants peace, but its actions paint a very different picture. While Beijing poses as a diplomatic mediator in meetings with Paris and Brussels, Chinese-made components keep turning up in Russian drones attacking Ukrainian cities. At the same time, Chinese officials call for dialogue and ceasefires, all while deepening economic and military ties with Moscow. So why is China suddenly so eager to broker peace? From discounted oil deals to Arctic trade ambitions, Beijing's balancing act has little to do with Ukraine and everything to do with expanding its global leverage. Watch in our report.
Europe is facing various challenges, but none of them are caused by China, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi assured during a meeting with the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaja Kallas, on July 4th. His statement came after the EU's top diplomat called on Chinese companies to stop aiding Russia's war effort against Ukraine, warning that such actions pose a threat to European security. Later, in a meeting with the French foreign minister, the Chinese diplomat expressed Beijing's readiness to strengthen strategic communication with Paris to pursue a political settlement of Russia's war against Ukraine. He stressed that China and France should act as forces supporting global stability.
China and France are permanent members of the UN Security Council. They must uphold the fundamental goals of the UN and develop bilateral relations based on mutual respect and independence from external influence, contributing together to global peace, stability, and development. Since the beginning of the year, our dialogue has enabled us to create an atmosphere conducive to finding constructive solutions to some of our differences.
China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs reiterated that Beijing continues to view dialogue and negotiation as the only way to end Russia's war against Ukraine. Earlier, French President Emmanuel Macron noted that Paris and Beijing share the same goal regarding the war in Ukraine. He made the statement after a phone conversation with Chinese leader Xi Jinping.
We share the same objective regarding the war waged by Russia in Ukraine, a lasting and robust peace. It begins with an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. Emmanuel Macron, President of France, on social media platform X.
Despite public calls for peace, China's relationship with Russia has strengthened since the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Western media report. In early 2022, Beijing and Moscow signed a no-limits strategic partnership. According to U.S. intelligence, by spring 2024, China had supplied Russia with surveillance data, optics for military equipment, rocket fuel, machinery for tank production, and other materials, including gunpowder and artillery components. In April 2025, Kiev imposed sanctions on several Chinese companies for allegedly supplying drones and missile technology to Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine had received intelligence indicating that China is providing arms to Russia. He said both the Security Service of Ukraine and allied intelligence agencies had confirmed this information. Beijing has officially denied providing any military assistance to Russia.
China not only refrains from supplying lethal weapons to either side, but also strictly controls dual-use goods that could be used for weapons production. Lin Jian, spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, in comments to Chinese media.
China is definitely not an ally of Russia. I mean, this Friends Without Limits, that was BS. But I think China, what they care about the most is maintaining status quo, maintaining access to cheap Russian oil and gas. They are anxious to start using the northern trade route that goes over the top of Russia through the Arctic. As the climate continues to change, China is going to want to use that, but Russia controls all of that right now. That's why they deliver parts and they do other things to help Russia.
After a nighttime drone attack on July 4th, Ukrainian officials discovered Chinese-made components in a Russian UAV used in the strike on Kiev. This was confirmed by Ukraine's Deputy Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha. He also reported damage to the Chinese Consulate General in Odessa caused by Russian attacks. Sybiha emphasized that security in Europe, the Middle East, and the Indo-Pacific region is interconnected and that countering Russian aggression and terrorism in Europe directly contributes to global security. Reported by Kristina Dombrovska, UATV News.
From battlefield breakthroughs to backroom deals, Ukraine's troops are setting new standards in modern warfare, while China crafts its role as a peacemaker. Drop your thoughts and predictions on these developments below, and always stay in focus with UATV English.